everybody. Welcome to Opera Praktikos and our production of the Spoon Theory Song Cycle. I am so thrilled that you are all here for tonight. My name is Marianne Amott-Neuwirth. I'm the executive producer of Opera Praktikos, and I'm here with my partner in opera, Greg Moomji, who is our artistic director. Today's presentation features words that are written by Christine Miserandino, interwoven with art songs that have been created by composers and librettists currently working in the industry. Lisa Nair, Jude Duane, Drew Swatosh, Nina Shee, Spencer Edgars and Elizabeth Howell, Chakay Smith, and Ethan Resnick. Spoon Cycle is an idea that took seed at the opera conference in LA about a year and a half ago. Greg and I were doing the work to promote our disability affirmative opera company, and we found many people in our industry who are eager to join the conversation about what's possible when you open up opera to everybody. Our response is what you are about to experience. This program runs just under an hour. There is no intermission. So please, for the moment, take out your phone, silence it, and while you're doing that, you can get the QR code in your program, which gives you access to our larger program and the lyrics to all of the songs. Those who are watching the live stream broadcast, hello, we've got a number of people on live stream broadcast, including my mom. Hi, Mom. You guys on live stream can find the program on the program information. There's a link to our website with the program. We do ask everyone, though, that you keep your phones, once you have the information, please do not take any photographs or do any recording of any kind during the show. Our aim is to bring you into an intimate conversation between two dear friends as they uncover vulnerable truths that bring them closer. So I ask you to hold your applause throughout the program and allow yourself to dwell in the liminal space between the words and the music. Except for right now, where I'm about to introduce Eman Rimawi-Doster, who will be speaking the words of Song Cycle. So please come up, Eman. You can give her a great applause, and we can get started.
Thank you. The Spoon Theory by Christine Miserandino. My best friend and I were in the diner talking. As usual, it was very late and we were eating French fries with gravy. Like normal girls our age, we spent a lot of time in the diner while in college, and most of the time we spent talking about boys or music or trivial things that seemed very important at the time. We never got serious about anything in particular and spent most of our time laughing. As I went to take some of my medicine with a snack, as I usually did, she watched me with an awkward kind of stare instead of continuing the conversation. She then asked me out of the blue what it felt like to have lupus and be sick. I was shocked, not only because she asked this random question, but also because I assumed she knew all there was to know about lupus. She came to the doctors with me. She saw me walk with a cane and throw up in the bathroom. She had seen me cry in pain. What else was there to know?
I
I started to ramble on about pills and aches and pains, but she kept pursuing, and she didn't seem satisfied with my answers. I was a little surprised as, being my roommate in college and friend for years, I thought she already knew the medical definition of lupus. She then looked at me in the face with I'm so sorry. Then she looked at me with a face every sick person knows well, the face of pure curiosity about something no one healthy can truly understand. She asked what it felt like, not physically, but what it felt like to be sick, to be me. For my whole life, it felt like healthy people have always misunderstood me.
I don't want them in my class. It takes too long for them to ask, do they ever really pass? My class is for smarter kids who will tear them right to bits. No one will benefit. I don't want them in my class. I don't want them in my class.
As I tried to gain my composure, I glanced around the table for some help or guidance, or at least to stall for some time. I was trying to find the right words. How do I answer a question I never was able to answer for myself? How do I explain every detail of every day being affected and give the emotions of a sick person who goes through it with clarity? I could have given up, cracked a joke like I often do, or changed the subject. But I remember thinking, if I don't try to explain this, how could I ever expect her to understand? If I can't explain this to my best friend, how could I explain my world to anyone else? I had to at least try. At that moment, the spoon theory was born. I quickly grabbed every spoon on the table. Hell, I grabbed some of the spoons off the other tables. I looked her in the eyes and I said, "Here you go, you have lupus." She looked at me slightly confused, as anyone would when they were being handed a bouquet of spoons. The cold metal spoons clanked in my hands as I grouped them together and shoved them into her hands. I explained that the difference between being sick and being healthy is having to make choices, or to consciously think about things when the rest of the world doesn't have to. The healthy have the luxury of a life without choices, a gift most people take for granted. Most people start the day with an unlimited amount of possibilities and energy to do whatever they desire, especially young people. For the most part, they don't need to worry about the effects of their actions. So for my explanation, I use spoons to convey this point. I wanted something for her to actually hold for me to then take away. Since most people who get sick feel a loss of a life they once knew. If I was in control of taking away the spoons, then she would know what it feels like to have someone or something, in this case lupus, being in control.
Have you heard of the monster? Eternally, not even day. He is watching while you're finding a way to bring your dreams into the light. How can you dream now? It's time for it all.
But you'd crumble and you'd fall.
Somehow you have to choose them. The dreams I will live and will stay. You only have but a dozen a day.
For he will take your rest away.
Have you heard of a monster? He is hungry, but all his clothes will be gone, and you won't even know because the monster's here tonight.
Can you see there's a monster? He's going to steal all of your dreams. He's going to whisper softly, sweetly, till you fall asleep.
It's time for it all.
But you crumble and you fall.
Somehow you have to choose them. The dreams that will live and will stay. You only have but a dozen a day.
For he will take the rest away.
Have you heard of the monster? When it's early, not even day, he is watching while you're finding a way to fight the darkness of the night.
How will you dream now?
I asked her to count her spoons. She asked why, and I explained that when you are healthy, you expect a never-ending supply of spoons. But when you now have to plan your day, you need to know exactly how many spoons you are starting with. It doesn't guarantee that you might not lose some along the way, but at least it helps to know where you are starting. She counted out 12. She laughed and said she wanted more. I said no. And I knew right away that this little game would work. She looked disappointed, and we didn't even start yet. I wanted more spoons for years, and I haven't found a way to get them, so why should she? I also told her to always be conscious of how many spoons she had, and not to drop them because she can never forget she has lupus. I asked her to list off the tasks for the day, including the most simple. As she rattled off daily chores or just fun things to do, I explained how each would cost her a spoon. When she jumped right into getting ready for work as her first task of the morning, I cut her off and took away a spoon. I practically jumped down her throat. I said, "No, you don't just get up. You have to crack open your eyes and then realize you're late. You didn't sleep well the night before. You have to crawl out of bed. And then you have to make yourself something to eat before you can do anything else. Because if you don't, you can't take your medicine. And if you don't take your medicine, you might as well give up all your spoons for today and tomorrow too." I quickly took away a spoon, and she realized she hasn't even gotten dressed yet. Showering cost her a spoon, just for washing her hair and shaving her legs. Reaching highs and lows that early in the morning could actually cost more than one spoon. But I figured I would give her a break. I didn't want to scare her right away. Getting dressed was worth another spoon. I stopped her and broke down every task to show her how every little detail needed to be thought about. You cannot simply just throw clothes on when you're sick. I explained that I have to see what clothes I can physically put on. If my hands hurt that day, buttons are out of the question. If I have bruises that day, I need to wear long sleeves. And if I have a fever, I need to wear a sweater to stay warm, and so on. If my hair is falling out, I need to spend more time to look presentable. And then you need to factor in another 5 minutes for feeling bad that it took you 2 hours to do all of this. I think she was starting to understand when she theoretically didn't even get to work and she had 6 spoons left. I then explained to her that she needed to choose the rest of her day wisely, since when your spoons are gone, they are gone. Sometimes you can borrow against tomorrow's spoons, but just think how hard tomorrow will be with less spoons. I also needed to explain that a person who is sick always lives with this looming thought that tomorrow may be the day that a cold comes, or an infection, or any number of things that could be very dangerous. So you don't want to run low on spoons, because you never know when you truly will need them. I didn't want to depress her, but I needed to be realistic. And unfortunately, being prepared for the worst is part of a real day for me.
I only have 2 spoons. where it might relieve some despair. Despite meticulous planning, there's always more to do. I could borrow from tomorrow, be left with fewer spoons. Trapped in a bag of bones, feeling suffocated and doomed. My depression, I'm learning the journey of self-compassion and accepting the limitations. I have 12 spoons. I must weigh my options. A mixture I'm trying to measure.
We went through the rest of the day, and she slowly learned that skipping lunch would cost her a spoon, as well as standing on the train or even typing at her computer too long. She was forced to make choices and think about things differently. Hypothetically, she had to choose not to run errands so that she could eat dinner that night. When we got to the end of her pretend day, she said she was hungry. I summarized that she had to eat dinner, but she only had one spoon left. If she cooked, she wouldn't have enough energy to clean the pots. If she went out to dinner, she might be too tired to drive home safely. Then I also explained that I didn't even bother to add in this game that she was also nauseous, that cooking was probably out of the question anyway. So she decided to make soup. It was easy. I then said it was only 7 p.m. You have the rest of the night, but maybe end up with only one spoon. So you can do something fun, or clean your apartment, or do chores, but you can't do it all.
When skies are gray, when skies
I rarely see her emotional. So when I saw that she was upset, I knew maybe I was getting through to her. I didn't want my friend to be upset, but at the same time, I was happy to think that finally, maybe someone understood me a little bit. She had tears in her eyes and asked quietly, "Christine, how do you do it? Do you really do this every day?" I explained that some days were worse than others. Some days I have more spoons than most, but I can never make it go away. And I can't forget about it. I always have to think about it. I handed her a spoon I had holding in reserve. I said simply, "I have learned to live life with an extra spoon in my pocket, in reserve." You need to always be prepared. It's hard. The hardest thing I've ever had to learn is to slow down and not to do everything. I fight this to this day. I hate feeling left out, having to choose to stay home or to not get things done I want to. I wanted her to feel that frustration. I wanted her to understand that everything everyone else does comes so easy. But for me, it's 100 little jobs in one. I need to think about the weather, my temperature that day, the whole day's plans before I can attack any one given thing. When other people can simply do things, I have to attack it and make a plan like I'm strategizing a war. It is in that lifestyle, the difference between being sick and being healthy. It is the beautiful ability to not think and just do. I miss that freedom. I miss never having to count spoons. Afterward, we were emotional and talking about this for a little while longer. I sensed she was sad. Maybe finally she understood. Maybe she realized that she never could truly and honestly say she understands. But at least now she might not complain so much when I can't go out for dinner some nights, or when I never seem to make it to her house and she always has to drive to mine. I gave her a hug, and when we walked out of the diner, I still had one spoon in my hand, and I said, "Don't worry. I see this as a blessing." I have been forced to think about everything I do. Do you know how many spoons people waste every day? I don't have room for wasted time or wasted spoons, and I choose to spend this time with you. Ever since this night, I've been able to finally breathe a sigh of relief, because now I can use spoon theory to explain my life to many people. In fact, my family and friends refer to spoons all the time. It has been a code word for what I can and cannot do. Once people understand the spoon theory, they seem to understand me better. But I also think they live their life a little differently too. I think it isn't just good for understanding lupus, but anyone dealing with a disability or illness. Hopefully they don't take so much for granted, or their life in general. I give a piece of myself in every sense of the word when I can do anything. I have become somewhat famous for jokingly telling people they should feel special when I spend time with them because they have one of my spoons. Today we have chosen to spend our time with you. Today we have chosen to spend our spoons with you. And now you can all spread the message. Thank you.
Praktikos, and give generously for year end coming up. We have some big plans for next year and the year after. So we are very excited, and we are honored to be working with such extraordinary musicians and an extraordinary audience. Please join us for a reception outside, thanks to the Mumji family, and thank you all for coming tonight.